Hello everyone and welcome to Game 5 in a series now between ESC's Jaxx versus NoxOut here on Protoss. Jaxx versus NoxOut, and this series has been very interesting to me. Just seeing how these players play the game, their different styles, their different approaches to the game, and how it really works well for them and what they're able to execute and do. At the start of Game 4, I had said NoxOut has been really effective with his small unit compositions and really maximizing how effective those units are. And then at the end of Game 4, you saw exactly that, as NoxOut never allowed Jaxx to really macro up. You now see a probe making his way out from Jaxx. Jaxx may be in a little bit of a situation here, along with NoxOut, that both of these players are not very familiar with the map. As this map is not part of any Battle.net ladder map pool, they may have a little bit more difficulty trying to figure out the strategies. This is Protoss. There is a high ground expansion here, 6 mineral patches, and a rich Vespene geyser. So normally for Zerg players, I do see Zerg players fast expanding into this location and then taking this geyser first, as that geyser returns gas faster than this geyser or this geyser. Now, we can see a front door being established, a barracks being built, and NoxOut able to actually build the barracks on the front door based upon the positioning of the tech lab, and he is also getting another supply depot. So he is going for a command center first, or sorry, not a command center first, a command center and gasless. And how this is going to work out is because of this high ground expansion here, he knows that he can establish that expansion in pretty much simple piece, and knows that the Protoss player will most likely need to get an assimilator and start a cybernetics core if they want to be perhaps a little bit defensive and get that warp gate tech. A probe is now zapping away at these destructible rocks. That will take quite some time. Actually, wait. These destructible rocks only have 1,000 hit points and a base 1 armor. So that is not the typical destructible rocks that you see. Just be careful of that whenever you do see destructible rocks. Make sure that you know how many hit points there are. Make sure it's not like a 1 hit point, 0 armor rock, and then all of a sudden that doesn't really slow down anything at all. SCV looking to set up a command center here will be able to do so. And what you should see now is a double gas into a double racks. So we'll see how that's going to work. Nope, going for an engineering bay here to block the expansion on the high ground. So we'll see how much actual hit points this can gather, as the probe is chasing after the SCV. The SCV pretty much knows that its days are numbered, and he wants to get out of there, knowing that a stalker most likely will be coming in. But this one engineering bay is going to slow down the economy of Jaxx. Jaxx most likely has a slight harvester advantage, yes, 21 over 16. But because of this engineering bay, it will allow a lot of building time on this command center, about 75 seconds worth. Is the engineering bay going to get canceled? Yes, it is canceled. 94 minerals has been refunded back as more Marines are being added. You can see now going into mass racks, no gas. So this is now a 4 barracks build. Now, what's going to be interesting is that these destructible rocks, which are normally very, very sturdy and strong against Zerglings and Marines, can fall very quickly. This is, I don't know if they've actually kept track of how many destructible rocks there are. Jaxx now perhaps going to try to make this way up the ramp. There is a Marine there, and the Marine's going to simply allow the probe to get stuck, as we now see Marines battling up against a Stalker. The Stalker, though, being very nice, getting 2 kills on Marines already, and just utilizing his superior range. Very nice Stalker micro. Jaxx showing his opponent, yeah, I can use 1 unit and have it take down 2 of yours as well. I'm very effective in my small battles. We'll see what's going to happen as Jaxx now runs away with this probe. The probe will get taken down. No more scouting, as we are now getting the rich Vespene geyser first. So NoxOut looking to get the rich Vespene geyser. This one geyser gives 50%. So essentially it's like harvesting with 4.5 SCVs per minute, which is somewhere in the realm of 160 to 180, I believe. Marines still just filing out. Here you can see now triple gas being established as more and more Marines are just making their way together. The Marines have to be careful. The lower hit point Marine perhaps going to try to back off. Oh, getting a little bit more poked there. as the Marines try to keep track of what's going on the high ground. The Stalker has to be careful, is still activating the tower. The Stalker on the high ground, unable to activate it. As the Marines now going to make their way over the Stalker, unable to see them, perhaps because of the brush. No, not because of the brush, and give me one moment. All right, hello. I'm sorry about that. A call about my daughter, making sure that she's okay from the pediatrician. Now, Stalker once again gonna just play that game here, and this one Stalker holding a large group of Marines at bay. 10 Marines unable to take down one Stalker. That Stalker has gotten 3 kills, is using the shields to naturally recharge, and apparently there was someone who was lagging there, and oh, the Stalker gets taken down. Hopefully it was not a micro issue due to lag. Jaxx was playing beautifully for so long, and now he must be very frustrated, hoping that his Stalker could have taken out more units. The Marines are now making their way out, and we'll see what's going to happen here as we are getting the Tech Lab, Combat Shield, and Stim now being researched, adding in some reactors as well, as NoxOut going crazy out on Bio, 7 racks off of 2 bases. Marines still ready to go. We can see that there are currently some warp gates, adding in a robotics bay and a Twilight Council as well, and it doesn't really look like Jaxx has enough production buildings compared to NoxOut. NoxOut will be able to train up a whole bunch of Marines at a time. The Observer is spotting this, although, and he has to be concerned. Double training off of 2 tech labs. He will be able to get some Marauders in there as well, and then we'll be adding a starport with a reactor. Marines do not have combat shield just quite yet. They should have stim in just a moment, as these destructible rocks have 2,000 hit points and 0 armor. Talk about making a caster's nightmare, trying to remember every little thing in terms of the map. Now, NoxOut perhaps is going to try to take this Xel'Naga tower as well. He has almost complete map control, as NoxOut also expanding to his natural expansion. More gateways now being established. It is going to be 6 gateways. We are chrono boosting out Colossi, and also chrono boosting out the extended thermal lance range. That is going to be very important. If he can continue to chrono boost that out, get 2 to 3 Colossi, this entire attack force will get melted away, as that splash damage does tend to add up very quickly. 1 Colossus is out. The second Colossus now being trained, as we see observers, Marines still moving around, and we'll see what's going to be happening as these Marines make their way across the field. 1 Marine perhaps looking for any extra expansions, as we are still continuing to chrono boost out more Colossi. Engineering bay, double engineering bays on the high ground. Level 1 weapons and armor upgrades should be started in just a moment. No armory yet, but we are getting into a double training of medevacs off of a reactored starport. Zealot now at the Xel'Naga tower. We'll see if he's going to perhaps try to fight back, as there are some proxy pylons now being established, and Jaxx looks like he's ready to go. He has 1 Colossus. He has 1 Immortal as well. A second Colossi now, or 2 Colossi now on the field. Extended thermal lance range is done. And now, because of the spotting and the superior map control, he sees this massive Zealot and Colossi army, and he doesn't have any Hellions to really deal with those Zealots. Zealots very powerful against Marines, natural armor, Guardian Shield, and just a lot of hit points to try to fight through, as the Colossi may try to knock on this front door. Only 3 bunkers now, as the Marauders should jump in there in just a moment. There is 1 Viking, and now another proxy pylon being set up. Reinforcements will come straight into the battlefield, as the Marauders and the Marines need to fend off this attack. The factory does not spot the pylon on the high ground. 1 Zealot leading the way. It's going to get slowed down and destroyed in a matter of seconds. The Vikings, did spot the pylon here. The pylon looks like it is going to get taken down very quickly. No reinforcements. And with that, Jaxx knows he needs to back up. He needs perhaps to get a pylon off over here, as he gets another round of warped in units here. Zealots do have charge. Stalkers almost with Blink. About another 40 or 50 seconds to go. And as soon as Blink is ready, the units may actually try to engage. The Blink is going to be important to pull the Stalkers away and allow those Zealots to get in the front. A medevac now looking to go for a drop. And if this drop does hit while the army is away, a lot of damage could be dealt. But perhaps Jaxx and his spider sense is tingling, thinking that a drop is coming out now as the Marines still holding off over here. The medevac looking to drop at perhaps the natural expansion. No, going to go straight here, drop off in the corner. The Stalkers do not spot this as the Vikings are now pushing across the center. The Marines are going to stim in and only see a whole bunch of Stalkers as probes will get taken down. There's a blink. Medevac already destroyed. Some workers will get killed, but all those Marines getting taken down in just a moment's notice. NoxOut, though, getting map control and position as he is moving out with this large Bile Force, but the Bile Force only has one medevac. Not quite sure why that it is so medevac-less at this stage. Only 2 medevacs have been trained, 1 lost in the drop that you just saw, but there are a lot of Vikings. The Vikings are going to destroy the Colossi and then perhaps land and add additional DPS, and we'll see if perhaps even without medevacs, this attack force will be successful. A second starport now being built. It looks like it will be adding on a reactor of his own as we are running 3 bases to 3. And NoxOut showing that he can play a macro game too, now with a 30 food advantage. Vikings just in the air. We'll see if they're ready to engage. It looks as though Jaxx is going to be warping in another round of Zealots, perhaps. Yes, getting in more Zealots still. His gateways all on cooldown. He needs to warp in more units if possible. Perhaps get in some even more gateways to replenish those forces in just a matter of seconds as we are now supply blocked once more for Jaxx. He needs another pylon. And what is happening? These players are just so scared to engage now as we now see another command center being built, and it looks like there's going to be an expansion here at the center 12 o'clock expansion location. One poor Marine trying to hide against the rest of the Zealots. The Zealot now getting taken down as well. So trading a Zealot for a Marine, a nice exchange there as the Marine holds onto the tower once more, but we do see a Nexus now warping in at the center location. Vikings in the air. It looks like level 1 ground. Is that vehicle weapon upgrades now being added? Not quite sure the reasoning behind that, as I haven't seen one factory unit. Perhaps he was hoping for air upgrades, as we are now getting even more barracks. We are now very heavy on barracks, up to 7 with 3 more on the way, but in comes a major engagement. The force field, 1 Marauder was taken down, but not much else as we are now getting into Psystorm. No, Ghost Academy has been completed. Ghost now being trained, as we are also getting personal cloaking. Scanner sweep does reveal the Zealots off over here. The Zealots are upgraded 1-1, soon to be 2-2. As more gateways are being added as well, allowing Jaxx to replenish his forces, warp in 24 food worth of units in just a matter of seconds. And now we are going into Dark Templars. Even more gateways being added. We are now up to 9 gateways. Where are those additional gateways? Up here as well. So we're going to have about 15 gateways. So 30 being trained in just 5 seconds. Protoss warp in, one of their best features, as we now see a Zealot make its way in, making sure that there are no other expansions that he doesn't know about, and NoxOut looking to set up perhaps a planetary fortress here. Double planetary fortresses may also be utilized as well to create a little bit of a choke point. One Zealot getting caught, trying to run away. Looks like he will not be able to make it, as the Marauders are upgraded 2-2 as well, and this is going to be a huge engagement. Ghosts need to engage. It looks as though the Vikings are turning around. Ghost trying to get some EMP shockwaves. Get some EMP shockwaves off. More EMPs. There is those. There is the cloak there as damage is being dealt. Psystorm as the Marauders and the Marines are chasing and pushing, and NoxOut with an amazing attack force, able to simply move across the field with only 2 medevacs, as the Mortals are now trying to win this war as well. Stalkers are pulling back. Photon Cannon's going to join in on the fight. Zealots will be reinforcing. All of those buildings were canceled, as now the Marauders and the Marines are going to snipe and take down this Nexus. And NoxOut has to be careful, though, as all of his units are very low on hit points. There are Dark Templars in the group, The Dark Templars perhaps could lead the way, but one scanner sweep would reveal them, as the Zealot here looks like it will get taken down. Planetary Fortress and a Planetary Fortress being established. It looks like this Planetary Fortress will be held off there in just a moment, as the units are backing off. And I think Jaxx is in a lot of trouble, or Jaxx knows he's in a lot of trouble, and as NoxOut knows that he's in a superior economic situation. He's up on a base. He's going to be up on 2 bases. He can strip mine this with mules, as he does have 3 orbital commands. And now there's not much really that the Zealots can do about this. We are getting the Gravitic boosters for the Observer upgrade. The Observers now able to perhaps gain sight of those of those ghosts, as the Stalkers now need to be careful. The Stalkers blink away just in time. Only 1 Colossus. There are 2 Dark Templars in this group. Colossi running away from the Vikings. Psystorm now looks like they'll be coming in, but absolutely just getting destroyed here. There's 1 Psystorm. A Dark Templar is in that group right there, dealing a lot of that damage. And now perhaps he doesn't know about the Dark Templars in this army, as the units are getting sliced apart and just taking a lot of damage so far. EMP Shockwave reveals the Dark Templars, though. Nice use. Perhaps they didn't want to waste a mule, or didn't have the energy for a scanner sweep. Nexus once again being reestablished. Jaxx needs to get this expansion and hold on to it, or perhaps try to hide an expansion off over here, as we see a Planetary Fortress and a mule mining away on the high ground. A nuke has been launched. Where is that nuke? Is the nuke? Yes, at the natural expansion here. All the ghosts trying to run away. No Psystorm's going to be coming in. And is there going to be no EMP Shockwave? Pylons have been taken down. 500 damage, as we now have a major battle that I just happened to miss. Zealots holding off over here. The Vikings, Marauders, and the Marines attacking here. The Zealots are going to be forced to back off. They have nowhere to run, and the Colossus is taken down. NoxOut with an amazing show of macro and constant destruction of Nexus, able to take this game and perhaps force the GG in just a matter of seconds, as a second nuke now being launched as well. So no mining happening at the natural expansion, meaning that Jaxx is only running off of 3 mineral patches, which is never good news. The Nexus coming in once more. In comes the engagement. The Ghost could get some EMP shockwaves. Yes, there's the EMPs. Zealots turning around. And I believe this has got to be a good game, well played, as the mass... Oh, Psystorm. Marauders walking through that Psystorm, taking a bit more damage than they would like. This is a very red army here, as more Psystorm, more Marauders may get taken out here, and a lot of units have been taken down. The Colossi could have perhaps focused down more units. And there's the GG, well played. NoxOut winning this best of 5 series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and special thanks to Zotac for making just sponsoring this tournament. And I believe this is part of the Zotac Cup. If it's not, then, well, Zotac, thank you for sponsoring the tournament anyways. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys on Battle.net.